sees the water. Come to the water, come to the water. We at the water, we at the water. Get your life moving right with your family in Christ today. It's what you've been praying for today. It's what you've been waiting for. We get them RESULTS. We get them RESULTS.
We need you at the water. We want you at the water. Know that we love you at the water.
Get your life moving right with your family in Christ today.
We need you at the water. We want you at the water. Know that we love you at the water.
We get them RESULTS. This is the water, this is the water. Come to the water, come to the water. We at the water, we at the water.
Hey, it's time for the water break. Hey everybody, welcome to Living Waters Church. You know, in John 7, Jesus stands up with a loud voice and he says, if you believe in me according to the scriptures, then out of your heart will flow rivers of living water. Which lands you all right here smack dab in the middle of the water break with me, yours truly, Pastor Jay. And it's my job for the next few minutes to make sure that you are spiritually hydrated. Want to give a huge shout out to my Facebook family, my YouTube family, and my Periscope Twitter family. Hey guys, how you doing? I hope your week got off to a great start. Let's see what the Lord is serving up on today. Got a good one for you today. We're going to James, the book of James, first chapter. Book of James, first chapter. And I'll just read these three verses to you from 22 to 24. I'll be reading from the New King James Version. And it reads as follows. It says, be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Verse 23, it says, for if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man observing his natural face in a mirror. In 24, for he observes himself, goes away, and immediately forgets what kind of man he was. So what the Bible is saying here is if you're a hearer only of the word and not a doer, you're like a man who's lost. You're like a man who looks into the mirror and goes right outside and forgets what he saw. I don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want to be somebody out here operating out of purpose, out of season, out of alignment, because I don't know who I am and who I belong to. So that's the start of it right there. Saints of God, let me drop this in your spirit. Hearing the word of God isn't enough. Hearing the word of God isn't enough. But doing, practicing, and living the word of God is for the one who will be blessed. I'll say it again. Hearing the word of God is not enough, but doing, practicing, and living the word of God is for the one who will be blessed. I'll tell you a story. I'm going to show you what this looks like. And a prime example straight out of the Bible that shows you the difference between being a hearer versus a doer. Watch this. There was a king by the name of Herod. Let's call him King Herod. And King Herod has an eye for his brother's wife. So he wants to marry her. But this marriage would be forbidden according to the law. But they marry anyway. She goes and divorces her husband. He goes and divorces his wife. They come together and marry. And then John the Baptist, you all know him. He's doing his ministerial duties. He's being a responsible man of God. He tells them, he keeps them accountable. And he says, now y'all know that ain't nothing. That ain't right. What y'all did was unlawful. What y'all did was wrong. The law states y'all wasn't supposed to do that like y'all did that. And I believe, now I'm going to branch off into my spiritual imagination. I believe King Herod knew he was wrong. Because the Bible reminds us that he liked John. He liked the ministry of John. He believed that John was a holy and godly man. He liked even listening to John, which leads me to believe that he was always at church. Uh-oh, watch this. But the wife, Herodias, she was heated. She didn't like it at all. She didn't like the idea of John telling her who she couldn't have. The fact that she couldn't have what she wanted. So one day the king throws a party. And the daughter of Herodias, she comes to dance before the king, and the king just loves it. He enjoys it so much till he makes a foolish promise. He says, sweetheart, ask me anything you want, and I promise you I'll give it to you. Whew. This is a king talking now. He says, ask me anything you want, and I promise you I'll give it to you. So she goes back to her mama and she says, Mom, the king just said he promises to give me whatever I want. All I got to do is ask. What should I ask for? And the mama says, she's still in her feelings. She says, tell him to give me the head of John the Baptist. Woo! It's a mean lady right there. She says, I want the head of John the Baptist. So her daughter does exactly what mama says. She runs back to the king and she says, I want the head of John the Baptist. But it makes the king pause for a moment, because remember, people of God, he likes John. He likes what John is about. He believes that he is a godly man. He likes listening to John. So here's the perfect opportunity to be a doer of the word instead of just a listen. Oh my goodness. Instead of just a listener. He had all the power to cancel the promise right then. He had every opportunity in his hand, all the power in his hand to do what was right in the sight of God. But he was so concerned about what the people would think of him if he broke his promise that he makes the biggest mistake of his life. He orders the head of John the Baptist. He has him killed. By doing this, he made so many people upset with him. The people were in outrage. The armies came to fight them because of this one crucial mistake that he made. That he was eventually run out of town, him and Herodias. They were sent to exile. So see, just knowing the playbook isn't enough. Running the plays in practice is what makes you great. You can have all the power and the intelligence of the world, but if you're not a practitioner of the word of God, if you're not a doer, if you're not a person that's living the word, you're left vulnerable. You're left to make bad decisions. You don't know who you are. You're operating outside of purpose. This is why this story is so profound, because remember, King Herod knew what to do, because he was always sitting up in church with who? With John, learning doctrine, learning the scriptures. But just being in church is not enough. Being the church is where it counts. That's the word.